So, welcome to our webinar relating to the SAP integration with Alteryx. We are going to show you the classical and the self-service approach. At first, I want to introduce my colleague, Koder. He's our SVP for the product management and pre-sales department. And my name is Benjamin. I'm one of our sales and marketing guys. So, the next point is our agenda. We will start with a short overview about our company. And then we will tell you something about our products, about our product portfolio. Then we'll start with the product extract for Alteryx, the new one. And then we will talk about extract universal with Alteryx. And then we will show you both products in a live demonstration. After that, you have the chance to get to know it, or to answer your questions, and we will answer them. So then we will start with the overview. Our company was founded in 2004, so we are on the market for 14 years now, and we are specialized in SAP integration. That means we can only SAP integration, and we make only SAP integration. We have in this section over 2,500 customers worldwide. It starts from the Swabian middle class company to several big companies. We have also some exotic birds like the platinum mine in Zimbabwe and, for example, the dairy in Kenya. We have our 35 employees now. The most of them are based here in Stuttgart in our headquarters. And besides that, we have subsidiaries in Seattle, in the direct neighborhood to Microsoft, in Paris, and in Hong Kong. We have over 180 partners now, and they are very important for us because they have implemented our tools in their solution and in their product portfolio. And as you can see, we make 95% with our revenue with license sales. That means that the partners are responsible for the whole consulting part. So here you have an overview about our references. As I already said, we have customers from all branches. It starts from big oil companies to healthcare and, for example, as you can see, foodstuff companies. Obviously, as a company based here in Stuttgart, it's common courtesy to have Daimler as a customer also. Now we will give you a short overview about our product portfolio, and that will be done by my colleague, by Koder. Koder, unfortunately, we can't hear you.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Koder. Thank you, Benjamin, so far. I'm delighted to talk to you today about SAP integration with Alteryx and different possible approaches. Let me start with the portfolio. So here you see our products that has constantly expanded over the last few years. So we, as a product company, specialized in the development of SAP interfaces and connectors. We distinguish between two areas. The right one for process integration, where SAP system integrates with applications like SharePoint, with workflows, with cloud application, or maybe with just a machine control. One example is if you have maybe a process order in SAP and want to transfer this process order parts, for example, directly to the machine. The left area is in general for business intelligence. So everything that has to do with mass data extraction from the SAP system, from the transactional SAP systems and the analytical SAP systems. Here we traditionally come from the Microsoft environment, especially from the database and SQL Server environment. So the data warehouse solution from Microsoft. But we have started to support non-Microsoft solutions to integrate with SAP. and we are doing that now since many years. And today, for example, the good example where we show how to make the SAP integration with Alteryx. Here on the left side, you see two parts. One part is integration with data warehousing, where we offer different products. So for example, we offer an SAP integration tool for the integration services that may be run on-prem. We offer another product that can run in the Microsoft cloud called Azure in this case. So that would be the product exact as for Azure, for example. And then we have an SAP connector called here Exact Universal that can be used either to bring data into a data warehouse using an ETL tool, or it can be used as an standalone extractor to bring the data directly into reporting and analytics tools. We will see later that product and see the architecture and see that in a live demo. So this product can be used with Alteryx, but we have for Alteryx specific product called Extract for Alteryx that we have released this month, and that would be the topic of our webinar today. And further, we have different connectors like here ExactRS that can be used, for example, with the Microsoft reporting services, or the board connector that can be used directly with board software. So the focus will be today about the SAP integration with Alteryx, with the new product called Extract for Alteryx, or with our classical extractor called Exact Universal. That was so far about the portfolio. Let's see now here on an overview the two products that we offer. So the classical product called Exact Universal, here on the upper part, that is our universal SAP connector that can be used just as an extractor. You can just extract your data from your SAP sources and load them directly into a destination. We will see later the possible destinations. One of the possible destinations can be Alteryx. So here you can use Exact Universal either with Alteryx or with other destination. And the new product, Extract for Alteryx, is now integrated directly into the Alteryx designer. So you can use it to extract data, where you design everything in the Alteryx desktop, and sure there you can use any tool supported by Alteryx, for example, to transform the data and so far. And after that, you would load the data to any destination supported by Alteryx. Okay, so here we see the architecture for Extract for Alteryx. So it's clear that is an SAP connector integrated directly with Alteryx. SAP connector, it means it can connect to any SAP system based technically on the SAP NetWeaver platform. Technically, we use the SAP protocol for that, RFC protocol. Ensure we are an SAP partner and we are certified for that. Here you see some of the supported SAP systems. So we support the classical transactional systems. It can be the ERP system, ECC system, or the newer versions called S/4HANA and so far. Ensure all modules and all industries are supported. Ensure if you have an analytical SAP system called Business Warehouse, abbreviated BW, or the newer version BW for HANA, that is supported too and can be used as a source to bring your data or to extract your data. Extract for Alteryx is a plugin that you can use directly in the Alteryx desktop. It offers different components. One component to extract data from tables or from a view, or you can join different tables on the SAP side for that. And the other component is to extract data from the analytical system, from the BW system. then you can extract data directly from a cube, from a query, from an info provider, and so far. So that is now the two components that we offer, and later in the next months we will release more and more components. Then you would use extract for Alteryx directly in the Alteryx Designer, where you can define your SAP connection, where you can define which data would you like to extract. Then you can use all the transformation possible within the Alteryx Designer, all the functionalities possible within the Alteryx Designer, and after that you would load the data into a destination supported by Alteryx. That is so far about the architecture. Before we switch to the other product, I would prefer that we make here a live demo that you can see that and you would better understand that. So now let me here switch to the Alteryx Designer. I would create here a new workflow. So now we see we have a new workflow, and then when you install extract for Alteryx, then you would have the tab here for that, extract for Alteryx, and you see here the two components available at the moment. So let's start here with the extract table component. As I've told you, you can use it to extract data from any table, from any view. You can join different tables on the SAP side for that. Here on the left side, the first step that you need is to define an SAP connection. So in this case, as you see, I have predefined two connections, one connection to an ERP system and the other one to a BW system. Let me show you here the connection to the ERP system. So sure, you need a name for the connection, then you need your SAP application server and further technical information for the connection. So sure, you need an SAP user that has the access rights and so far. Yeah, and there are further options possible. Example given for using single sign-on and so far. So here you see the connection is successful to the ERP system. So now I will use that connection. And sure, if you like, you can here define a new connection. Okay, so now we select here the ERP connection. Now we would like to define a new extraction based on a table or on a view. So now you see here, I have here the possibility to add a table or a view, and now I can search directly on the SAP system. So let's say I would like to extract data from a customer master table. So in this case, for example, I can select this table here and click OK. When I click here on the table, so I see here the available fields. So you see here I have different fields. So I can either select all or deselect all. I can here search for a field. For example, let's say I would like to have the city. So I can search for city. So I would see here the column for that. In this example, I would just select some columns. So let me select here, for example, this one. This is the customer number. Let me select the country key, the name, and the city. I would select here the street, telephone, and so far. Yeah. So here you see the column that I have selected. And now if I click here, load preview data, so now you see I have here some preview from the SAP system. Here see customer number. Here you see the country key, for example, US, DE for Germany, and so far. If I'd like to join the data with a different table, for example, I would like to extract master tables that come from different tables that exist in SAP. I can just here click on add and search for that, and here I can define the join between the two tables. I have the possibility to define a where clause. Let's here select, for example, here the country key. So the country key, as you see here, this would be here this field, and I can set it, for example, to US. Okay, now let's say load preview data, and now you see I have only the US customers. Okay, so this is here just a simple example to extract, in this case, master data for the customer. Let me now click on save, and now our data here, our data source is ready. And now you can sure use any tool here available in Alteryx to transform the data, to join it, and so far. I will skip that at the moment and just here use the browse after to extract the data directly. Okay, so that's so far. Let me now here just save that. Now let me run the. Okay, so that's fine so far. Now, as I have here executed the workflow runs and the SAP data has been extracted directly from the SAP system and here delivered to the Alteryx and designer to the Alteryx workflow, and now they are here existent and I can work with them. Yeah? And here you see again the columns and the data, and so far I have shown, for example, here further options. Yeah, for example, let's say I would like to have maybe color name or something like that. So we have further options for that. Okay. This was here the first example with extracting data from a table from the ERP system. Let me now create a new workflow. And this workflow, let me show you how to extract data using a cube or a query from the BW system. So here again, you need to select the connection. I have prepared here the BW connection. Let me show you that. It's similar to the ERP connection. Again, you need the SAP BW host, further information for the connection and so far. And now we can test the connection. That's successful. That's fine. Now I can here define an extraction. So you see here I have the possibility to search for a cube or for a query, what is possible. And for example, for a cube, I have a demo sales cube. Let me search for that. So that's here my cube. Now I will select it. And now I see the metadata of that cube. That means here on the left side, which key figures or which, let's say, measures are available. So for example, here I have the net value, I have here the build quantity, I can select that. And then I have the different dimensions. For example, here I have the company code as a dimension, but for each dimension I have further property. For example, for the company code, you see I can select additionally the company code key or the medium name or maybe the country and so far. That's possible for each dimension. Then let me select some further dimensions. For example, here the distribution channel, the division, maybe the material, here the sales organization, the sold to party, that's the customer. For example, here for the customer, you see I have further properties. For example, here the country key and the country name. If I'd like, I can select that and so far, and let me here select the calendar day. So now we have selected some key figures and measures. We have selected some dimensions. I have here further some settings. For example, for the color name, you see I have here the technical color name. I can change that to have maybe the text description for that so far. And I can define further filters on each dimension. For example, if we select here the company code, I can select here edit filter, and you can see here I can select any values where I would like to filter on that. Yeah, let's select, for example, only this 5 single value, and sure I can select here a value range. Okay, let's click now on preview. Okay, that's fine. Now we have a preview of our data from the BW cube. Let's click now on OK. And now let's add a preview. Okay, let's save that workflow, and now let's run it. Okay, so that's fine. And now we have our data directly here, as you see in the workflow. Okay, so that was so far with the 2 components that are available at the moment. Extract cube to extract data from cubes, from queries, from info provider, from the BW system, and the extract table component to extract data from tables, from views, and to join data from different tables on the SAP side. Okay, that was here the the case for extract for Alteryx. So some important questions are when I should use extract for Alteryx. As we would see later, we have another approach and with another product. So in this case, as you can see, if you would like to extract the data directly within Alteryx and only with Alteryx, let's say, so that would be the right product for you. In this case, you don't have, let's say, a central repository or monitoring for the SAP extraction, so that's not required. So you have that directly in Alteryx, let's say, or within other Alteryx tools. And as you have seen in this case, the Alteryx user has built the SAP extraction directly in the Alteryx designer and the Alteryx experience and so far. So the Alteryx user in this case must have the knowledge and the access to the SAP objects. And the SAP extractions are triggered in this case directly through Alteryx. So we call that a pull destination. So the data would be pulled from the SAP and processed in Alteryx. And the available components are to extract data from tables, as I've told you, views into join tables, but from BW to extract data from query and cube. So that is here the first approach with extract for Alteryx directly in the Alteryx designer for the self-service approach, as we call it. Okay, now let's switch to the other approach. For that, we offer our product Extract Universal. So Extract Universal is a middleware extractor, middleware component to extract data from the SAP systems to process it in different data warehouse and BI environments in general. As you see here again, all SAP systems based on the NetWeaver platform are supported. So on the one side, the transactional systems, ERP, S4HANA, on the other side, the BW, BW for HANA, and so far. Extract Universal offers more components, more connectors, more possibilities to extract data from the source systems. So here you see again, you have the components to extract data from table to join them. And you have here the component to extract data from cube and queries and so far, but you have further one. For example, this one here, the data source to extract data from the SAP business content. That is part of the ERP system and in general used, for example, to bring data into a BW system. Yeah, so this would be here the premium component in general. As it is used for extracting data incrementally and so far. And sure, you have further options. For example, here, Open Hub objects would you like to extract data from the BW system, hierarchy, BW hierarchy. If you'd like to extract data using a function or a BAPI and so far, that's supported. ERP query or other programs and reports are supported too. So here you see you have further more components and possibilities. Okay, after that, you have different possibilities to extract the data into a destination. So for example, as you see, databases and data warehouse are supported. So that can be, for example, SQL Server, Oracle, Exasol, or any other of the big and well-known databases and data warehouses, either running on-prem or in the cloud. So that would be one scenario to bring your data into a database or a data warehouse. Another scenario, if you'd like to bring your data directly into an analytics tool and a front-end tool. So in this case, that tool that can be, let's say, maybe Click, Power BI, Tableau, MicroStrategy. These are some of our partners. We are working with them, but sure, you can bring it as to Alteryx in this case. Further options will be to bring the data into cloud storage. That can be, for example, Amazon S3 storage or Microsoft Azure Blob storage and so far to process the data in the cloud, for example, for big data scenario and so far. And we offer sure generic protocols and formats that can be CSV file or OData protocol, other HTTP and so far. So that is basically the product exact universal. As I've told you, that can be used with different destinations, and one of the supported destination is sure Alteryx. So in this case, in exact universal, you would define here, you would use here any component that you see to extract the SAP data, and then you define your Alteryx destination. In the Alteryx destination, in the Alteryx desktop now, you have an exact universal plugin. And with that plugin, now you have the access to all the extraction defined in exact universal. Okay, let me now switch to exact universal to show you how it works. Here you see the exact universal designer. Here I have the possibilities to define the source connection, the destination connection. So here the source connection is similar. So here you see you can just add on any SAP connection supported. Here again, I have, for example, an ERP connection. So it's actually the same connections that I have used to connect to our ECC system in this case. Okay, that's fine so far. And you can here define a destination. Just click here on add, and here you see the type of supported destinations. So sure, we use here we define you can define Alteryx destination to support Alteryx, but we also support Alteryx Connect. And you see here the list of the other supported destination. So if we talk about databases and data warehouses, so here we have the Azure data warehouse, we have here IBM DB2, we have Exasol, for example, you have good data for the cloud, you have the SAP HANA, you have MySQL, Oracle, Amazon Redshift, SQL Server for sure. But as you see, and Teradata, but you see we offer, we support analytics tools. Like here you see Tableau, for example, you see a MicroStrategy, you see Power BI, and you see Click and so far, and sure Alteryx. And other options for the cloud storage that can be here, Azure Blob Storage, it can be Amazon S3, for example, and further systems like, for example, Salesforce, SharePoint List, or flat files. So today we would focus here on Alteryx, and I would show you maybe in other options how to bring the data, for example, directly into a database. Okay, so as you see here, I have defined an Alteryx destination. The Alteryx destination is easy. No further options are required. You just select Alteryx. So that's the case. So now let me show you how to define here an extraction. So at first, I select again here the ERP connection. And here you see the options that we have, the connectors. So let me show you that here, for example, how to join data between different tables. And let me call that here SAP Customer Master Data. And I'm using here this component to join data between different tables. Okay, let me search for the first table. So I would select the first table here for the Customer Master Data. Let me select that. Okay, so here we see the table and all the available fields. So I would select here just some columns. For example, the customer number, country key, the name, the city, and so far, maybe the street. And now I would like to join that with another table. Let me search for the customer master sales data, as you see in this case. And in this table, for example, I have further fields. For example, as you see here, the sales organization, the distribution channel, the division, and so far. Yeah, and sure, I can define here where criteria. For example, again, if I would like to filter only on a country, so I can set that here. So we'd set the country key to US, for example. Okay, and we have here further possibilities. For example, we can aggregate, we can make an alias for the field, we can create grouping criteria, and so far. I will skip that at the moment, and let's say just click on OK. Okay, so let's find that. Okay, so you see here our extraction that we have defined it. So it's SAP customer master data called. I'm using here the table join component. I'm using the SAP ERP system. And the destination, let me switch the destination to Alteryx so far. So that is here the Alteryx. I have here some options to convert date if required, and here sure I can change the column name. Okay, that's fine. I have now here the Alteryx destination. Now if I go to the Alteryx designer, let me create again a new workflow. And here again, you can, if you are using Extract Universal, you can install here the Extract Universal plugin for Alteryx. And now here I'm using that. Now I'm connected to Extract Universal, and here I see the list of the available extractions. If you see here in Extract Universal, I have prepared some extractions with the Alteryx destination. So all that would be available in Alteryx. So let's search for our extraction, SAP Customer Master Data. So SAP Customer Master Data. Okay, that is here our extraction. Okay, and now again, let me just use that here. And let me save that. Okay, and now let me run here the extraction. Okay, so that's fine. If I click now on that, you see here I have directly the column and the data in Alteryx. Okay, if I switch now to here to Extract Universal, if I click here on refresh, so I see here some further data about that. So I see here the timestamp, the number of rows extracted, the duration for that, and so far. If I click here on log, I will have here for each running, I would have on the left side a timestamp and here all the log details. So that is what we call here central repository for monitoring, central repository of the extraction, central monitoring and log and so far. So that's so far here how to bring the data from Extract Universal into an Alteryx. But as I've told you, you can sure here use another destination, and that is here the benefit of Extract Universal. I just change here the destination, let's say SQL Server Local. And now I have further default settings that would be used. Yeah? So for example, here, the table that would be created out of the box by the tool, and the data, the extracted data would be inserted. Yeah? Let me use that here. And now we call that a push destination as it is a database. So that means here the transaction must be executed in Extract Universal. I can do that here manually. Just run here the command tool for that, or the command tool that can be scheduled with any scheduler, with any ETL tool, or can be executed from a script, for example. Okay, so let me refresh that. So you see here again, and if I click now ilog on the log, so you see here I have 2 logs because I have had 2 executions so far. So and this one here was for the SQL Server Local, and I have here all the information, number of columns, number of rows, and so far. And now if I go to my SQL Server, let me here click on refresh. Okay, and you see here SAP Customer Master Data. If I click now on select, and you see now I have I have here all the data. Okay. Let me show you here in Extract Universal one of the most important components, most used component, especially for extracting really mass data in an incremental way. For that here we are using The DeltaQ component, let me show you that here, the DeltaQ component. So here you can search for an extractor that is part of the SAP content for BW. So you can use it here directly. And you need some customizing on the SAP side, so you need the data for that information. And here, what's important is you see the available update modes. And here, out of the box, you can use the Delta update mode. That means SAP in this case will deliver only the incremental data available in the SAP system. So that's fine so far. Let me click here on the destination. So again, here I would extract the data at this moment here, for example, to SQL Server. Here again, you see the table name. Let me here change the table name. Let's say here, extractor, let's say Alteryx webinar. So that's the name here of my table, because I would like now to extract the data in an incremental mode directly into that SQL Server. Okay, and if you click here, if you see on the log, I have had today an execution, and you see here 3 rows were extracted from the SAP side. So let me run that now manually. So now the extraction is running. Let's refresh that. Okay, so you see now 0 rows come from the SAP side. That's fine, because here, as you see, I'm using the update mode. And the incremental mode, there were no changes on the SAP side. Yeah, so that was here the first run, as you see here, and here come the 3 rows. So far, here the 3 rows, and then the second run without any row, no data available. I see that in the log. So now let me switch to the SAP system, and let me make a small change. Let me take a customer number 1000, for example, and now let me change here for example, here the address. Let's take 44, for example, and let's save that changes. So the extractor that we have used is for the customer master data, and the changes will be directly available in this case. So if I go here again, and now I would run the extraction here again, the Delta mode, and now actually the changes from the SAP side must come directly here. That's fine. Let me here refresh. Okay, and you see here the number of rows, just 1 row. And now if I go to the SQL Server, and let me here check again, let me refresh to find our table. Okay, and here you see now the Alteryx webinar, and now let's say select. Okay, and you see here now we have the data, that's our customer number, and if I go here to the right, I should find the address, the updated address that we have changed in the SAP system. Okay, so that was so far here about using extract and reversal. I have showed you how to define here an extraction. We have seen that here for the table join component. I have shown you that here for the DeltaQ component, how to bring the data incrementally from the SAP side. We have seen that how to bring it into a SQL Server or into Alteryx. And sure, for example, you can define some templates for that. So here, for example, you see some templates that we have defined, for example, using extraction reversal, how to bring sales data and to join that and so far. Yeah, so that's all is possible. Okay, so that was about using extraction reversal with the Alteryx destination. So the questions that comes now, okay, when should I use extraction reversal with the Alteryx destination? So sure, here you should use it when you would like to extract data on the one side with Alteryx, and maybe on the other side you have a project or you have a department where for that project you are not using Alteryx, or you would like to bring the data directly into another destination. Yeah? Or if you are, let's say, an existing extraction reversal user, you are using that, for example, let's say at the moment with the database directly, but you would like to use Alteryx, so Extraction Universal will be the right product for that. Ensure you have a central repository and you have a monitoring of the SAP extractions directly in the Extraction Universal Designer in one place. Here you have the possibility that the user that creates the extractions in Extraction Universal, it can be a different user from the Alteryx designer. Yeah, so here maybe the central IT can do that, or maybe you have the same Alteryx user who can create that at first in the Extraction Universal and then consume it in the Alteryx desktop. In this case, with the Alteryx destination, we are using a stream to bring the data from the Extraction Universal again to the Alteryx desktop, and it's a pull destinations in this case because the extraction is triggered through the Alteryx workflow. Ensure here you have more components. As you have seen, for example, the DeltaQ component that can be used for extracting data from the business content, where you can extract that data incrementally and so far. Yeah, so that is here one scenario, one possible scenario to bring the data directly to Alteryx. Ensure there are another option if you'd like, for example, at first maybe to use a database or a data warehouse, either to bring the data directly from Extraction Universal into the database, and after that you can use Alteryx to access that data from the database. Yeah. So here I have an example for the SQL Server, as you have seen in the demo, but sure that would work with any other supported SQL Server, with any other database and so far. So here the one of the benefits, for example, if you'd like to use history data or archiving data in the database and so far, that would be maybe a benefit. And the other benefits are similar when you are using Extraction Universal with the Alteryx destination. Okay, that was so far now from my side. We have seen all of that in the live demo. We have seen the two approaches, one directly with the Alteryx desktop, the other one with Extraction Universal, where you can use Extraction Universal just as an extractor, either with Alteryx directly or with the database and so far. That was so far from my part. I would like now to switch again and to pass over to Benjamin.
Thank you very much, Kodo. It was a very interesting live demo. And if you now want to try our solution by yourself, then just go to our website, and there you can find a trial version for both products, which is valid for 30 days. Without any restrictions, and you can also get in contact with our support department for any questions. So besides of our website, we have different other channels which can help you to get in contact to us, to get to know about us, to learn about our products. For example, like the online help, and the knowledge base, which is full of interesting articles and necessary information for you relating to the products. So just have a look at these sites and get to know about our products. So I've seen a lot of questions now. I'm not sure if we can answer all of them, but we try to do it. I start with the first one, Coder. Maybe you can answer it. It's delta handling from BW and when cube is used as a source.
Can you repeat the question, Benjamin? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. It's delta handling from BW when cube is used as a source.
So as you have seen, the DeltaQ component can be used to extracting data from an extractor. In our demo, we have seen that with an extractor from ERP, but you can use the same here from the BW side, where you have an extractor, and that extractor is based or is generated for the cube, and then you would extract the data in a Delta mode directly from the BW side.
So, okay, the next question is, how is Delta capability managed?
So that is out of the box functionality of the SAP system. Yeah, so you have the delta management directly on the SAP system. Technically, it's a little bit different depending on the extractor, depending on the modules and so far. But the big benefit that you have is that you don't need to understand the details for that. SAP would deliver the changes, the data incrementally for you. Yeah, and there is sure some difference how data are delivered and so far, depending on the cube and the extractor, but that is out of the box functionality used in general in the SAP system. That's in generally used always to transport data between ERP and BW. So that is here the same functionality, that is the same API used by BW, and here we offer that with extraction universal.
Okay, the next question is it reading directly from the database or through the application layer? How does the performance compare with the BW extractor, for example?
Okay, we connect always to the SAP application server. Yeah? So we don't offer direct connection to the database for compliance reasons. In general, that's not allowed at many customers, and for security reasons. Yeah? And with our tools, you have the possibility to access all the business logic on the application server. When you are accessing only the database, so in general, many of the business logic don't exist on the table, but exist on the application server and so far. And if we are talking about extracting data incrementally, for example, and so far, that functionality is always available on the application server. Yeah, so we support it on the application server. What's regarding performance, I think we have experience now more than 14 years. We have, let's say, the biggest SAP customer, the biggest SAP installations. We have customers who are extracting every night many hundreds of millions of rows, and we are proud to deliver a very, very good performance. That's our expertise.
Okay, can you catch the data extracted, or do you need the source each time?
The question is not clear for me, but in general, as you have seen, we define an extraction. An extraction can be based on a table, as we have seen, can be based on an extractor or a data source. That in this case, data can be extracted incrementally. We can define an extraction based on a cube or a query. There is further component that we haven't seen today, for example, based on an ABAP report, based on a function module, and so far.
Can you extract data from BW queries with two structures?
I need more details about that. Maybe we can talk after the webinar. But in general, I don't know any restrictions so far.
Okay. Where will the filtering happen? SAP or PC?
SAP or
PC?
And okay. In this case, sure on the SAP side. Sure on the SAP side. So filtering and joining, not only filtering but joining too. As you have seen in the demo, that happens on the SAP side.
Okay. The next question: how extract and universal can be used in Alteryx?
I think I have showed that.
Yeah, I
have showed that. Yeah. So you at first you define your extraction and extraction universal, and then after that you have the plugin that can be used in Alteryx to access your extraction. That is defined in extraction universal. Then you can run the extraction. The data will be extracted and pulled into Alteryx.
So it seems that you are using MDX to extract data from BW. Do you plan to use RFC connection from BW extractors connection?
So we are using MDX based on RFC, but we have further options. So let me show you that. So it depends on which one we are talking. But for example, let me show you that here in extraction universal. Let me connect to BW. Okay, so demo sales cube. Okay, and let me here use the BW cube. So I'm always using RFC connection. In this case, when extracting data from a cube or a query via MDX, that's one option. Let me here search for my demo cube. Okay, that's fine. Let me select the cube. Now again, you see here I have again the same. I have here the measures, and I can select here some dimensions and so far. And as you see, yeah, that's true. In this case, we are running that MDX based on the RFC protocol technically. In Extract Universal, we offer further options. For example, using the BEX extraction. It's another API and so far, but we are proud here to be one of the best on the market where we can extract really huge cubes in queries. So we offer here options for packaging size, for automatic slicing and so far. So we are really able to extract cubes with millions of rows, with many hundred thousands of rows without any problems, without any errors on the BW side.
Can Extract Universal extract to Azure Data Lake Store?
At the moment, as you have seen, we support Azure Database, Azure Data Warehouse, and Azure Blob Storage. That is supported at the moment. And Azure Data Lake is actually on our to-do list, but we don't have a release date yet. If you are interested, please contact us again.
When importing the table join, where the join is executed in SAP or outside?
Okay, I have told you that, yes, that's executed on the SAP side. For that, we deliver a function module that must be installed, and here you see the SQL statement delivered for that. And yes, the join happens on the SAP side.
I think you have also answered the question relating to automating the universal extracts. You already said that there is a scheduler, or that you have to use a scheduler, right? Yeah,
for example, it depends on your environment. Yeah? So if you don't use any scheduler or any ETL tool, you can just take, let's say, the Windows Task Scheduler for free. Yeah, that can be used. If you are using a database, let's say SQL Server, and there you have a scheduler, you can use that scheduler for that. If you are using scripts or PowerShell scripts, that can be used. If you are using an open source tool, an ETL tool, or any other thing, that can be used too. You have many other options.
In Extract Universal, can the filter be a variable, e.g. a date with offset?
Yeah, that can be done in Extract Universal and in Extract for Alteryx. You can define a dynamic variable and use it as an input.
Okay, we have also the question if you can repeat delta. I think that can be done afterwards. Just contact us, and we can show you this afterwards again.
Yeah.
What is limiting the number of records that can be extracted? I think that the question is also answered in your demo. For Delta extract, you override the target, correct?
Sorry, the question, Benjamin?
In your demo for Delta extract, you override the target, correct?
Yeah, you have different options. So let me say here for destination. So here, for example, for the table, you have further options. You can drop the table and create a new one, or just say create if not exist. So if the table exists, you would use it. And here you can, for processing, you can say just insert the new data, or you can merge the incoming data with the existing data and so forth. So many options are available.
Okay. And then one additional question, which version of BW you support? BW NetWeaver 7.5 on HANA?
All is supported.
Okay. What is the licensing scheme for Extract Universal? Per user, per data volume, per server? Yeah, this question can be answered by me. For Extract Universal, our licensing model is per server. So every server, it's independent if it's a productive or a non-productive one, has to be licensed. And the prices can be found on our website. And besides that, we have a different license model for extract for Alteryx. In this case, we offer a desktop version and a server version. If you're interested in the prices, just contact us in this case. So I can't find more questions. Yeah, if you have any questions, any further questions, just contact us. We are happy to answer them afterwards and to get in contact with you afterwards. On the presentation on the last slide, you can find our contact details. Yeah, just contact us, send us your questions, and we will get in contact with you. And besides that, we have a few questions which we send you afterwards. Would be great if you can take the time, only a few minutes, and answer them, that we can yeah, make the webinars better and yeah, maybe adjust the things which we have to. Thank you very much for your time. From my side, we are ready, and have a great day. Koda, do you want to say?
From my side, the same. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. And we'll be glad to stay in contact with you.